Yeah, we should have, exactly.
Let's think of some topics that we could be in opposition of that are current topics today.
Well, illegal immigration, number one.
Okay.
Healthcare, I like an older system where churches and religious organizations, charitable organizations were in charge of such things as hospitals, and they decided how much free care to give out and kept the prices low because the overhead was much lower. It wasn't levels and levels and levels of paperwork going along. You didn't sue your church at the time, so you didn't need all that backup and all these armies of lawyers that you're actually paying for when you go to your doctor for an insulin shot.
Right. Do you not think that the government could do a better job than our churches?
I don't think so. Whenever the government gets involved, at least in my opinion, it seems to be, the government serves quite a few necessary tasks that we wouldn't want to try and do through the private market, but some of the things like healthcare, I want to have choices. I want to have options. I don't want to just have to go to one person. I want there to be competition to keep the prices down in the market. I don't want there to be a single payer, and that single payer be the United States of America paying everyone's bills. So we got those hypochondriacs out there that might go to the doctor more often. And I'm going to be paying for that. It's just a difficult concept for me to get around.
The whole point of our forefathers is trying to get away from all this centralized bureaucracy. Whether it be, the White House or healthcare or whatever.
Absolutely.
The military, everything. Even we talk about the military. You're a good one to talk about it. I mean, we used to have a state militia, that we could count on to protect our own states. And then it became a national thing, and the next thing you know, the people who are supposed to be protecting your state is way off in Iraq somewhere. Like, who's here to take care of us?
Well, we need to take care of ourselves.
That's the way it is. Well, but that's what it is. We had a way of doing that.
Abraham Lincoln even stated that. He said, what the people can do for themselves, what the people can do for themselves, government ought not to interfere.
And what is that about the 10th Amendment?
Healthcare? Oh, I love that one, because you are in opposition of our government on free market as well as healthcare. The two go together.
Well, our government talks quite a bit about free market, and they think free market's a great concept.
As long as they're in control of it. How does that work? I don't, I just think the government should just stay out of our story, actually. I mean, my God, look at it in the last 100 years, we're so far in debt in this country, it's not funny. And it's just, and they tax every little thing. Every little thing's got a tax on it. And it's like the HMOs, like you were talking about the healthcare. You can't pick your doctor. I mean, you have to take what's on there, Well, and then you have Medicaid through the welfare. The government pays for that, or the people, taxpayers are paying for all of that. I mean, and actually they get better care than
someone working for a living.
They do. They need to cut out all those programs and let people. I don't know how they would achieve this at this point in time. I really don't, but people have got to depend on themselves. Absolutely. And the government steps in there and says, well, here, we'll give you this, we'll give you that.
I mean, I like having a safety net in case I look at
Social Security, what's happened to that? When it was set up strictly for people that retired so that they could have a pension.
Well,
at the time that it was set up.
When you say the government stepped in there, now you're referring to like the federal part of the government. Because that's kind of going to be a pet peeve of mine, because when you say the word government, we are the government.
We're supposed to.
And so I like to just figure out exactly where you're coming. Are you talking about the federal, the state, the local?
The federal government more than. Now, why do you think we are the government?
Because right at the very beginning of our Constitution, it says this government, it says this government is
we the
people.
Of, by, and for the people.
Absolutely.
And so that is initially, we are the government. We are the ones that created the federal government. We, the people, are the ones that created the state government. the federal government had limits. I mean, they had very few things were they even supposed to be involved in.
Right.
And if we can get them focused back to the 10th Amendment, and that's what, you know, I think that people are really pushing now. They're seeing how it's gone so awry, you know, over the last several decades. And seeing where our federal government has crossed over lines so much, and it's been destructive. So it's all about grassroots coming back alive again and saying, hey, this is our government. You know, we are supposed to be the ones that's in control. Now, that's a big question. How can we get back in control, Tina?
Well, speaking of grassroots efforts, I just wanted to tell you, like, the amazing things have been happening with the Ron Paul campaign. And, you know, I've been involved with it. Even when I was in Iraq, I was involved with the Ron Paul campaign. I gave as much money as I could. I bought T-shirts. I started giving them out to my friends. I started asking for donations. I got enough back that I was able to fund some of my friends, some of the people on this panel, actually, they couldn't afford it, to take part in the political process. We all went down to the Republican National Convention as delegates, representing our communities and representing our views. Some of us were anti-war, some of us were we were pro-market, and we all went down there to say our piece, and you know, we had varied experiences in that area. But the whole thing is, we knew from the start that Ron Paul just had so much opposition out there from the media, from big business, and just trying to take care of themselves and be as inefficient as they possibly could be. The government doesn't want to be dismantled.
The federal
government doesn't want to be dismantled and downsized. Is what, you know, our view is kind of what needs to be done.